What's up, folks? What's going on? This is CEO of MFR Seasons and Sauces. And if you're not doing nothing on Sundays at 6 p.m., you gotta check out The Man Cave. I approve this message, and I'm on my way. Check them out every Sunday, 6 p.m. The Man Cave. Yeah.
Welcome to the Man Cave, where we give our opinion on just about everything. Today we got a special show. A special show that first of all, I want to apologize to my audience because I've been gone for 3 months. And the reason I've been gone for 3 months is because I got a job that requires me to get up and go whenever they call. And every time I've gone to work, it's sacrificed the podcast. So we're back. It's springtime, and what better way to bring in spring with a breath of fresh air? Today we have on the show Jasmine, the sensory storyteller, and Aaron, the master puppeteer. These guys are incredible storytellers. Welcome to the show, Jasmine and Aaron.
Thank you so much for having us. I'm super excited to be here. Sounds like an added level of privilege because this is the Man Cave. So I'm smiling here and there.
Yeah. It's the Man Cave. We deal with a variety of topics from really easygoing things like this to hard kind of topics. But today, springtime, it just needs to be very welcoming today. And I just appreciate you guys coming. So Jasmine and Aaron, you guys have this collaboration of companies between you guys, and what you do, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure you're going to expound, what you do is you bring a element of storytelling with song and participation, but you also bring this element of puppetry, so these kids get all this sensory input and output, and it's like they're inside of the story. I've been to several of them, and like I've seen you, Jasmine, tell the story and add sound effects, and then Aaron's puppets are doing reactions to the story, and it was just a great story. Can you expound about, I'm trying to give a little bit of what I saw, but you guys do it. So what exactly do you do?
Okay, so you want me to take this one first? Is that Aaron?
Yeah.
Okay, so as a sensory storyteller, it's really just like kind of a fancy word that kids don't always fully understand. So what I try to do when I'm doing my shows is to let kids know that basically I am a see, touch, feel storyteller. And so the idea is to add as many different modalities into the storytelling process, whether it's touch, whether it's letting them get up and move their bodies, letting them like taste, smell, all of those things help to make the story that much more real. Like you said, to kind of like fully embody and be in the story. And what we learn is that kids, the more they're engaged in the story with like a variety of different senses, the more that they're able to retain, the more their comprehension skills go up, their literacy skills go up. So the goal is really just to like be able to touch them in a way that's going to like really make the story palatable and real for them while always like having fun.
Yeah. And that includes different things like song. So you read stories and you sing to them.
Yes.
Yeah. And then so you have to see it to experience it, because back when I was in school, not too much, it was just like 20 years ago, I was in high school. But they, when I was in middle school or elementary school, they just read to you and then showed you the pages of the book.
Mm-hmm.
But the way you bring the book, surround them with the sound effects, and you surround them with colors and these pictures that they can actually see. And then Aaron's in the background with these puppets that are making them crack up. Yes, and it's like he's just a master at it. So, and by the way, Aaron, I just want everybody to know that Aaron is one of the two most important people in my life. That's my sons. And so I love watching him do puppetry because that's his happy place. That's where he flourishes. That's where you learn from him. I mean, being his dad, you just naturally be in a place where you want to teach him. But this is where I learn from him. And I'm just happy to be in that place. Aaron, tell me a little bit about what your role is in the sensory storytelling.
All right, so my role is, like how you were saying earlier, the puppeteer, person that brings the characters to life. So pretty much, depending on what story that we've done, like we've done a song and a story, Down by the Bay, which a lot of kids are familiar with. So Jasmine Down by the Bay, and she can bring up animals, and then I'll have the animal pop up and just engage with the kids, like we have did. Like Jasmine was saying, if you seen a pig doing a jig, and the pig up and engage with the kids, and then he'll do his little jig and whatnot, and then after that, I just bring, just other characters just to engage with the kids. Really, that's my job, and that's what role that I play with Jasmine, just engaging with the kids, doing the puppets, and then at the end, I reveal myself and let the kids have fun, and they seem to really enjoy that though as well. Yeah. So
and I can imagine that they would, because you're kind of a mystery to them, but they can see the puppets, and when they see, oh, here's the guy behind it. And I've actually been to shows where kids, before the show is over, will go back there where you are because their curiosity is so strong.
Yeah.
So that happened.
Say that again.
I was saying that happened before, like when me and you did the show about the $20 bill. The kids walked behind they walked behind the stage and they wanted to meet the characters.
Yeah.
So that's always just heartwarming just to see that as well.
Yeah,
because they're like forever inquisitive, right? So they forever want to know like what's happening, what's going on back there. And one of the things I really like is the being able to kind of play with the kids, because on purpose we try to have like those segments in which maybe the puppet is doing something and me as the storyteller is not aware of what's happening. They're moving around behind us. So I think it also helps to instill like a sense of competency, like helping the kids to like kind of speak and advocate and like just be a part of the story as much as possible.
Yeah. And see, that's what I was going to ask you guys about, because Aaron said, have you ever seen, one of the things that you asked kids is, have you ever seen a pig do a jig? And not only is that making the kids put those two things together, but it is Aaron is back there producing this. He makes it happen. So one of the things that cracked me up, one of my favorite parts of the show, is, have you ever seen a toad on a commode? Now that cracks me up every time, because you guys didn't hold back what happens on a commode. You guys are really real.
That is
about
comedy gold right there for children.
Yeah. In fact, I got a clip of Toad on the commode.
Yo. That
had me cracking up. So, Jasmine, how did this all start for you?
So I've been interested in like children from as long as I can remember. My grandmother, I was raised by my grandmother, and she ran a child, an in-home daycare. And
Mm-hmm.
so I got to like work with her because a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
kids that we would serve, a lot of the families that we would serve were younger. And so
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, I was their entertainment. She was
Mm-hmm.
their structure to make sure they got their homework done and things like that. And
Mm-hmm.
so as I got older, my profession led me into early childhood education. So I went to school for it, got my degree, and like in every classroom, like it was just super important to me to be like telling stories, building up those literacy skills, helping, especially in today's society. I think like after the pandemic, we've noticed like a lot of kids are like struggling to kind of build some of those skill sets. And
Mm-hmm.
so having like this I guess platform in which I can kind of like help to reach them and serve as I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but just serve as something supplemental, something to help like make sure that they are hitting those milestones as much
Mm-hmm.
as possible. And I know for me personally, I my what's the word I'm looking for? So my knowledge or my passion kind of like expanded some because most of my career I've been in early childhood education for about 20 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And most of my career has like really started to shift because up until about 2020, I was working with like neurotypical kids for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And with the exception of like some kiddos who may have had like some at risk at home situations and things like that. But for the most part, neurotypical kiddos. And I got into the world of like autism personally when I had my firstborn kid. I'm a mommy of three.
Mm-hmm.
And my eldest was diagnosed with autism, and he is nonverbal. When he was 2 and some change, let's say like 2 and 9 months or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so learning how to tell stories in a way, he made me dig a little deeper, like trying to tell
Mm-hmm.
stories in a way that was going to be like super engaging for him and kind of keep his
Yeah.
attention span,
Mm-hmm.
and help to like grow his attention span as well. And so like
Mm-hmm.
books have always been a good way for us to have like to kind of like build and strengthen that bond as
Mm-hmm.
autism started to set in his early years. So
Mm-hmm.
fast forward, he's doing pretty well now. He's nonverbal, but he's a pretty effective communicator on his AAC device, and he
Mm-hmm.
also is in like therapies and class in his classrooms. And
Mm-hmm.
so one of the things that I've done in the past is I've always wanted to be a part of the classroom, and I found that this is just a good way. Telling stories was a good way to be in the classroom and advocating for him as well as like kiddos like him who learn
Mm-hmm.
differently.
Okay. So what made you say, wow, I have to dig deeper to tell a story to my son? What made you transfer that to the world at large when doing what you do now?
Well, when I first started doing it, I was stay-at-home mom with two kiddos, but I was working with my son's group. So he currently is in therapies. And so during the therapy sessions, I would ask like, would it be okay if I did like a story time with the kids? And
Mm-hmm.
the owner of the therapy center said yes, and it just became a hit. Like parents really loved it, the kids really loved it. Before that, it wasn't my first time like doing stories, and it wasn't my first time doing like puppetry and that type of, or not doing puppetry, but um working with Aaron as a puppeteer, because
Mm-hmm.
he was actually my kiddo's first male teacher, which was really cool. You might have been my kid's first
Oh,
teacher, period. Like my son was later diagnosed with autism, but before that, he was in Mr. Aaron's class, and that's how we met.
wow.
Because we
Oh,
both,
okay.
I'm probably skipping ahead a little bit. I think you were going to ask that later on.
Yeah, that's
but,
okay. That's all right.
but yeah, so he was my kiddo's first teacher. And
Mm-hmm.
so with that, after the diagnosis came in, then I started asking like more questions as to like what volunteering would look like. How can I be a part of his
Mm-hmm.
educational journey? And it just so happened that what I was doing was parents were giving good feedback, and the kids and his peers seem to enjoy it as well.
Oh, good. So I remember Aaron being a teacher at some of one of those daycares, but and he always used to tell me how much the kids appreciated him bringing the puppets in and all of that stuff. But man, it started something big here, and that's kind of a divine connection. It sounds like to me.
Yeah.
So we got a couple of comments. So EW says, "Wow, both of you, your talents are so multifaceted, creative, educational, and entertaining."
Thank
Major
you.
C says, "I can't, I can't have nothing in this house. Why is Aaron Jr. in my room?" That's Josh. You know, he just has to make his presence known.
Okay.
But Maddie says, Aaron, Julian, and Jasmine, do you perform for the hearing and vision impaired audience as well? If so, what adjustments did you have to make in those performances?
Well, so when I say that the stories are designed for kiddos with learning differences, or right now my main field has been working in the autism space, but for the most part, what we find is if you do the things that are needed for kiddos, like to speak to like kiddos who get as many of those different modalities in there as possible, then you're really going to be getting a wide bracket. So like the stories are designed to whereas they will help kids who have learning differences. And now when I speak to that, I am mostly speaking to autism. But with that, my son is nonverbal. So he has an AAC device, and I do try to incorporate like the pictures that are associated with that into the stories. Typically, I have some sort of like a chart that has like different ways that they can speak. We have stories and songs that sometimes will incorporate sign language depending on like what songs that we're doing. So, and you said I cannot say honestly that I've actually had a student who is blind, but what I would say is that the purpose of my stories is to try to incorporate as much sensory as possible. So if I did have a student in my classroom who was vision impaired, one of the things that I would do on purpose is to make sure that I'm incorporating I feel like I have to take you into the story to fully answer the question, and I'm sorry it's going to take a little bit
That's
longer.
Okay. That's fine.
So if we're telling the story of like, let's say the three little pigs, on purpose, we are bringing in like wind blowers. So like the wolf huffed and he puffed and he blew, and so they're going to be able to actually feel the wind. Now, one of the things that I do with that is try to make sure that I'm teaching the children how to advocate for themselves. So they're going to know before we do anything sensory related, we're talking to them and telling them what's getting ready to happen. So that way they can know, they can make that choice. Like, do I want to feel the fan on me? And I might tell them, okay, so this next one is going to be a really big huff, puff, and blow. And so that might mean I'm pulling out the wind blower. Now, some kids love it. You see like their little cheeks just like kind of blowing in the wind, and they're having a grand old time as they have the wind blower in their face. And some kids will advocate for themselves and say, yeah, I don't think I want to do all that. And then kind of, I will on purpose not do it to them. But the goal is to incorporate as many different ways of getting the story through to them as possible. I hope that answered your question.
It does perfectly. And it sets up the next clip I'm about to show, because you were talking about a giant walking through the land. And this is how you did all of the sensory work.
The ground begins to shake. Can you feel it? The ground, can I feel your body begin to shake like this? As the giant got closer, boom, boom, boom. The people began to shake like this. They shook to the left. They shook to the right. They shook all down.
And you can see how you guys work so well together, because Aaron's back there being a participant. Yeah, man, it's just, that part just warms my heart. So Aaron, let me ask you, like, I don't know the answer, but How did you start in puppetry?
Well, how I started was with just a love of Sesame Street, love of Muppets, and love of Disney. You know,
Mm-hmm.
as a kid though, you know, really, it started really with just Disney, the love of Mickey Mouse, and just never outgrew them. When you knew that, just in school,
Mm-hmm.
just you know, going around, going to school with Mickey Mouse dolls and you know, just anything that was just related to Disney. I was just that big fan of it, and
Mm-hmm.
got older and just never outgrew it though.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, at first, you know, I know Dad tried to get me to do other things. He tried to get me to play baseball, and he tried me to just seek other interests at first. But then yeah, but then after I seek the what was it? Yeah, after I liked sports for a minute, but truly my love was uh, cartoons and you know puppetry, and then
Mm-hmm.
after that I started just getting into Muppets, and you know you bought me a Muppet Show DVD, and I really loved that because I didn't really know who they were
Mm-hmm.
uh, till I knew Kermit the Frog because he was on Sesame Street, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know all the rest of the Muppets. Like I didn't know that it was another universe to the Jim Henson world. So,
Right.
but speaking of him, he there was a behind the scenes uh bonus feature on the Muppet Show where Jim Henson explained his profession and what he does,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw the impact that he made for kids and for adults, and ever since then, it was fifth grade. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, that's cool. And I loved it. But then at the age of 13, I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do because I still love playing with dolls. I still, you know, enjoyed it. Even though I tried to hide it, though, my dad knows. I was
Mm-hmm.
going behind the scenes playing with dolls and even with Barbie dolls. Because I would make little reality shows with like the Barbie dolls just actually fighting and
We should have met so much longer. We should have met back in the day. I used to have whole sitcoms back in the day. Like we should, bro.
yeah,
Say less. Like that was my jam. Like okay, right. Okay.
yeah,
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. Right.
no, you good. Oh, it's all good. Yeah, that's pretty much we did what I did, and you know, with the help of my brother, you know, every day after school we'll come up with little sitcoms with Mickey Mouse dolls,
Mm-hmm.
Winnie the Pooh dolls, and everything, and it was something special because it was something I couldn't wait to do right after school, and just
Nice.
I didn't even know that I was just using my gift though.
Mm-hmm.
It was just something that I just did because I love doing it. But yeah, so love pretty much long story short, the love of Disney, love of Sesame Street, Muppets, got introduced to Jim Henson,
Mm-hmm.
and ever since I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. He made a massive impact on kids, not even just a massive impact on that, he made a big impact on puppetry.
Mm-hmm.
And when people think of the puppets or any puppet show, people are gonna direct, yeah, they're gonna direct it to Sesame Street or
Mm-hmm.
you know, mainly Sesame Street because that's really I think the only puppet show that's on right now. So
Mm-hmm. Well, Aaron, I'm super. I've always been super proud of you. And when you said that, I was trying to get you. I was just trying to diversify your interests because I knew that was solid. I knew you weren't going anywhere with that. But I was thinking, maybe you should try this sport, and you did. You ran track, you played soccer, and all of that stuff. So all that stuff was great. But when you honed into what God wanted you to do, it was hands off for me. I had to take a supporting role. But it very, very early, before you could talk, Aaron had a sock on his hand. And so, that was, to me, that was just like what kids do. But then when you turn like 8, 9, 10, and we were still, it was like, okay, there's something there. There's something there. So I'd much rather roll with that than, try to change anything God got going. So Maddie asks another question. Maddie says, even the parents are enjoying it. How do you guys come up with your stories?
You want me to answer that one? Or you?
You can, yeah, go for it.
So, we come up with the stories basically through children's books though. Like we've done other stories like well, we'll do stories that are based off that are already written, like Old Lady Who Swallowed a Fly, or Abby Yo-Yo, which we recently did for our recent show. So those are books that have already been published, and we just make it our own version of it. You know, and also like The Fox and the Crow. So we'll just do that, make our own version of it, and just do it the way how we want to do it though, and still make it appealing to the audience as well. So, and you know, I love it though. I find it great, and to go back a little bit as well. Me and Jasmine, like she said it earlier, me and her used to work at the same job. So like how she said earlier, I was her son's teacher. Yeah, one of his first teachers, and we've done a show when we were there. It was called "If You Give a Mouse a Cookie." So people, all the Gen Zs probably understand that book and know that book, or you probably remember that book too, man. My mom, you know, mom did. And we did a book on that. I mean, we didn't do a book on. We did a show on that part of the reading month of March. How you two actually met as well. So, so yeah. So it really kind of just started from there. And when she had quit, it was just like a 4 year gap, and you know, I wanted to take it seriously in 2022, and well, take it seriously in 2023, and summer of 2023, she just DM'd me and was like, "Hey, you know, start a business called Sensory Stories. I would like to have you on board." And I thought it was just a one-time thing, like, okay, cool. And then it just led to us being partners, and that was a long answer. It was two different answers.
That's okay, but that's a divine appointment to the two exact because you guys combined forces and made something better and bigger that kids are really getting into. Another thing about the shows that you guys do, and it adds to the participation aspect of it. In a minute, I'm gonna ask you about the differences in doing autism work and not regular, but kids without autism work. But I like the participation is so strong that is so engaging to these children that it like goes from beginning to end. And one of the things that you use is music, and the music is not that little Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. This is R&B almost that you guys use to get these kids involved. And here's a little clip of that.
Let's see it. Oh. Okay, here we go. Let me see your hands. We're gonna go all the way to 5. There's a lot of dances out
See, the older I get, the more I like to see kids being kids and enjoying themselves. But because when Aaron was small, all I was saying was, shut up, sit down, shut up, sit down. When you enter into grandparent stage, you just want to see kids run and jump and scream, mainly because I'm over that stage and I kind of miss it with my kids now. So I was looking at them kids dancing like they are just feeling so free to do this. And that is exactly what kids should be experiencing. You know what I'm saying? And you guys bring that out of them. What feeling do you guys get when you see that participation?
It's awesome. It's like a really great energy. It really like kind of helps like amp up the show. Like, I mean, now we have to bring the energy regardless on like how they might be in the moment. but it definitely does help add to the incitement. They kind of juice you up a little bit, you know. We can't like completely rely on it, but like they are, it helps like a lot. It's very heartwarming to see them like just smiling, having fun. And I think going back to like the different song selection, some of it is cultural, but then a big portion of it too is that we recognize that most of the time when we're doing our shows, we have a dual audience. So we're working to entertain the children, but at the same token, you want parents to have fun. You want them to get like a little chuckle in. You want them to have, a lot of times, like our parents have fun seeing their kids have fun. And so I think if it's something where it's like everybody can get a little something, like, because those parents, they be grooving in their chairs too, you know, so it's just nice for like it to be a full experience for both parts of the audience.
Yeah. Now, another thing, I'm sorry, go ahead, son. What are you saying?
I was just going to, just piggyback off what she was saying. Yeah, it's definitely heartwarming, and it's definitely makes you feel good, though, just see the kids just really enjoying what you're doing. And because, a lot of kids, I don't think they've seen like an actual live show before. I think a lot of they're just used to seeing it like on a tablet or so.
Yeah, right.
It's a good kind of just bring live puppet shows back again and just live stories back again. Because, it's still
right.
It's going to be engaging no matter what.
Yeah. So I can see this thing going into the stratosphere because you guys, I'm gonna show a couple of pictures where I set this next question up, but you guys are not only entertaining children that are not on any kind of spectrum, they're not they don't have autism, but you guys do entertain children with autism. And so the question I would ask is, since autism is like on a spectrum and it can be a wide variety of things that children are their sensories are sensitive to, how did you design your shows to be sensitive to something that's actually on a wide spectrum like that? So in other words, what is the differences? What do you have? What are the do's and don'ts of doing sensory or storytelling?
So I think for me, a good portion of it is like, I want to like make sure that their kids that my mentality is looking at the kid first. Like they're first and foremost, like kids have things in common. Kids like to have fun. Kids like to be seen. They like to feel like they're understood. So that's like a big part of it. And then in addition to that, like I will have, so if I'm working with a center that has kiddos that are primarily on the spectrum, then on purpose, I'm going to like, see if there's anything like that might stand out that I need to know, like kids who might have like certain sensitivities to certain things. But for the most part, the story is not drastically different. And I think that's just kind of based like on the design of it. On purpose, we try to make sure that we're speaking to like so many different ways of learning. So whereas it's not like a traditional story. So if the kid is like, whether it's autism or ADHD and they're having a hard time sitting in your chairs, I on purpose tell parents that kids don't have to sit in their chairs. As a teacher, I've had story time and I'm telling a story and I have a kid who's seemingly doing their own thing, not really paying attention, and they're answering questions to my story as they're off building blocks and Legos. So like some kids can do more than one. Their hands might be doing something different, but their minds could totally be tuned in. And so I try to like take a lot of the pressure, I guess, to do like the traditional things out of it. This, for the most part, is just meant to be fun. So if it's a kid that needs kind of like follow their lead, in terms of like, what do they need in order to be successful with the story? Do they need to be able to stand? Do they need to have like, maybe sit a little closer towards the door? Because maybe for them, success is watching the first, let's say, 5 minutes of the show, and then after that they're gonna go take a break somewhere else with
Right.
whoever their grown up is. But I think when we like expand what success looks like, then more kids have an opportunity to be successful.
Yeah, yeah. And I never thought about that because if I'm doing a puppet show, because me and Aaron have done puppet shows, and when kids walk away, I want to be like, hey, where you going? Hey, we've been practicing this for hours. You need to come back in sound. But I never thought about them taking a break and still being connected. And I never thought about it. And that's the that's one of the wonderments of a child, that nuances that I wouldn't think of.
Yeah.
Aaron has heard me verbalize how not angry, but like upset I got. I was like, geez, some kids talking while we were doing the show.
I've had one. I remember I was telling a story at a school for the classroom was set up for kids with learning differences, and I had one kid. The first time I came to tell a story there, he was petrified. Like every time a new puppet would come out, he was literally like, I think it got to be too much because the story that I was doing had like a series of puppets. Like most of our stories have like a series of puppets because for most kids that's engaging. For this particular kid, that was not engaging. That was like anxiety provoking. It was like, what is coming out of her box? Like, I don't like this, And so success for him was he needed to create space. I needed to slow things down to keep the other kids entertained, but then also let him know that different things, I'm going to have a different animal come out, and maybe I can give him a hint or a clue as to like what the animal will be. So that way it kind of set it into expectation. Like this animal might, moo or something like that. And then everybody can guess what they think the animal is. But the first time I did it, he stayed for the show for maybe 2 minutes. And I was telling his grown up that, to me, if he needs a break, I wonder if he could just say like, I need a break. And so to be able to verbalize, not really verbalize, because I believe this kiddo was nonverbal as well, but to like articulate it on his device that I need a break. Now that kid is learning the skill of being able to advocate for himself. That's a win. That is a life skill that he's going to have to take with him, or be able to take with him well outside of like me just telling a story. So for me, like those golden moments, and we came back, we did stories, and after a while he got used to it and he became more comfortable. So he could stay longer and actually like listen to like the full story and be engaged.
Wow. See that I loved hearing the other side, because I like to do logistical things like this, set up things, and it's all time sensitive. And when we get close to the time, it's like, okay, let's go. I got to do this, But just relaxing in the moment kind of thing is what you and Aaron. Aaron has always been the most patient person I know. Aaron is not rattled by stuff. He's just, he's easygoing all the time. Sometimes he gets upset, but 98% of the time, he's chilly McChill. And so he didn't get that from me. But I'm glad he got it, because like I said, that adds to his performance, and he has ultra patience for children.
Yeah.
And it just works with his gift. And I'm just super, super proud. And I'm really glad he hooked up with you, because you guys are a great, 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 great team. Maddie asked another question.
Say that about him. That was actually one of the phenomenal things about, I think that's why I reached back out to you, because even after like that first show that we did together, even before that, like in the classroom, he would pull out puppets and do little stories and things like that with the kids. And I know for a lot of times, like when you have a kid who's on the spectrum, before you realize what's going on, because in those, for me, like I'll speak for myself, I won't make it a general thing. So for me, before my son got diagnosed, we just started noticing little things that, maybe he was doing at one point in terms of like saying words, and then he kind of like stopped saying words. And we didn't have a whole lot of like understanding as to like what was happening. We just knew something was happening. And so I know that autism is basically like a social and a communication limits. Like they struggle in those areas. And so having Aaron who would like pull out the puppets and be willing to like engage with kiddos. Sometimes like if the kid is not like and I guess like this is just me kind of like lightly touching a little bit on like how sometimes like different biases can come up. I didn't have that experience with him. He was always very patient with my kid, always on purpose seeking to engage him. And I think the puppets was one of the main reasons, one of the most like effective ways that he was able to do that back in the day. I remembered how he would play with the puppets and play with the kids and make sure that he gave my kid attention, even though it might have not all the teachers did that. I'll just say it like that. Not all the teachers would do that because my kid wasn't as talkative and had started like the symptoms started to set in. We just didn't realize that's what it was at that time.
Yeah.
So big ups to you, sir, for being patient and sticking to your gift.
Big up. I'm gonna tell a story about Aaron when he was a little boy, a toddler, like just about almost one. Before Aaron was one, he was speaking like in good almost sentences. So he would speak really well. But when he got in public, he would just shut down. So when we took him for his pediatric appointments, and we'd be in the room, and the doctor would come in, and Aaron would do this. And so the doctor's like, Aaron, you're okay? Everything okay? He just kept doing that, and we were like, what is the deal? And so the doctor would ask us, have you been noticing, is anything wrong? I want to test him, and I want to test him for that. And we kept telling the doctor, no, he speaks in almost complete sentences at home. And Aaron, can you say, what's your name, Aaron? And it's like, okay. So the next time we came to the doctor said, hey, look, I'm gonna not come in the room, and you guys engage him in that room. And so he did. He stood outside the room. This is the second visit. He stood outside the room, and we were talking to him. We were talking about Bear in the Blue House. He was like, Bear in the Blue House, can I watch it when I go home? And can we do this? Can we do that? Can I have a cookie? And the doctor came in and said, Aaron, you were talking. And then Aaron said, no, you busted now, dude. So, but the cool thing was Aaron was always so animated. He just, everything about him was like almost a show. So all that stuff kind of is encapsulated into him now that he's just so chill and relaxed. You can still see the performer inside of him coming out. I could brag on my son all day, but let's get back to this. Maddie says, I may have, huh?
Oh, I was gonna add something there too.
Okay, go ahead.
And real quick was that it kind of grew into my adult life too. Like I think when we were at high school, Jasmine, one of the ladies that really liked our performance noticed it too. She was like, I can just tell that you are to yourself, and when you do the puppets, you feel like you're comfortable at that. That's where you're most comfortable at. But that's a lot of, I get that a lot from a lot of people. A lot of people, even especially at church, were like, you just quiet. You so quiet. I don't picture you doing that. You stay to yourself. And I'm just like, yeah. Well, I mean, partly because I don't know you. The starters, and then the second is because that's just part of my personality. Unless I like really know somebody, I was just never, Dad knows I was not the person that just gonna go right into your face. I just gotta warm up to you first. But and that's how Jim Henson was. He was the same way to himself, but when he was Colonel Frog, he can be himself. He was a great performer.
Yeah.
Two things can be true.
Yeah. Yep. So Maddie says, I may have missed the answer to this question, but how long have you two been working together? I love how you two work together in your craft.
Okay, so you mentioned 7 now. So, and he was 1 when we first started. When we first did our first show, he was 1. So I guess about 6 years, kind of like off and on, 6 years.
Okay.
And then, about 6 years.
The first one was 6 years ago. Then I stopped working at the child care center to go figure out autism, go figure out like what was going on with E. He got diagnosed So that was in 2019, I think.
That was 2019.
Yeah, he got diagnosed in 2020, and we reconnected. Was it 2022, 23, something like that?
It was the summer. It was summer of 2023.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So, do you think adults with autism could benefit from the storytelling, or is it just kid specific?
I do. I think adults in general have fun at the shows, low key. But I definitely think that there was a space for adults with autism. I haven't actually had a show specifically for that demographic, but I am working on a collaboration with Troy Community Center. So there's like certain places that create like spaces for the demographic, and they right now more so cater towards like the adults. And so I was going to suggest to you, Aaron, that would probably be a good spot for us to kind of plug into to do a show.
Yeah.
I actually have a lot of things for like for adults in Troy. I think I read somewhere, or maybe I was at a conference, and the lady was saying that the demographic is a little bit higher of neurodiversity is a little bit higher in Troy as opposed to like other cities out this way.
Yeah. Well, I've gotten a lot of when I tell people at church that Aaron does puppets, there's a lot of people who say, "Oh, I have this person that does this, and I work here, and we need this." Like I work on the soundboard with a guy who says that I forget exactly where he says he needs it. There's a need for this, but he said he's going to be contacting Aaron. And then there was another person who was on the show, Tracy Jennings. She was on the show before, plugging her book, and she's a teacher, and she teaches elementary school students. And she said she's going to plug into you guys as well. So
nice.
I mean, the stuff is just coming and it's growing because you guys got something good here. EW says there are not nearly enough programs to address the needs of our children who have various difficulties. I'm praying great things for you guys.
And we appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. And EW said the most true thing in the world. She says, Aaron Sr., you're very creative also. So so what's next? You know, one thing I did notice in the shows that you guys do is that you guys are multifaceted. I mean, you're not just telling stories and not just having the kids participate, but you guys are the audio team. You are your own wardrobe changing team. You know, you do a lot of things while the kids are engaged. Like I didn't even see you put on that red cape, Jasmine, and then it's when it starts playing. It's like, when did you put that on? And then you had this remote to put the music on, and you turn it off, and it just seems seamless and flawless. So,
well, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
it is definitely like multi-production, and ideally, like at some point, we definitely have a team because the vision is always like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like just colossal, I guess. Yeah. Because ideally I would love to have like a full on like dome, and they can come into the store. You know how like planetariums are, you know, and so you have like the projectors, and it's like they can actually walk into the store. That would be ideal to me. Even I was looking at the possibility of incorporating like virtual reality, you know, maybe like have kids come in and they can put like the glasses on. And so if we're telling like a story, most of our stories take place like out in the woods, you know, or whether we're down by the bay or whether we're like on the farm or things like that. But like if they could walk, like actually see it, you know, and they're actually like on the farm, like things like that would be awesome. Yeah. So just like as it grows and as we like start to like kind of develop out the team more to have like more like the multi-studio production, you know, type stuff.
Yeah. I was reminded of you guys just yesterday when I went to go see the new animation, King of Kings. Well, you know about that? It's a new animation called King of Kings.
See that on Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the story of Jesus, but it's on a kid level. They did not hide the cross. They did not hide the beating, but they toned it down a lot. But they showed the essence of Jesus. They showed, particularly the biggest scene was Peter walking on the water. But the thing was, there was a father who had a son who loved kings, and he loved kings. And I don't, spoiler alert here, he loved how kings conquer by killing people. So he decided to tell him a story about a king who did not kill people. And he's the king of kings. So, but when the father was telling, this is part remind me of you guys, when the father was telling him the story, when they cut to Jesus actually doing the stuff in the story, the little boy was there. The little boy was in the ship when Peter got off, walked in the water, and he, the little boy is in every scene. So that encapsulates what you guys do, because the kids can actually be in the scene that you guys are talking about. Yeah. So when you say virtual reality, I can definitely see that being a future step for you guys. Yeah, for sure. Check out King of Kings for real.
I will.
So Aaron, one of the things I like is when, let me just show this clip and we'll come back.
All right, bye guys. Thank you.
One of the things I love, and even when we do puppet shows together, son, they don't care that this puppet is attached to your arm. This is still a separate person to a lot of these kids, and they're high-fiving the puppet and they're answering questions to the puppet. Never mind this man that's attached to you. It's just, this thing has captivated this audience so much that these kids want to meet you. They want to meet the arm. They want to meet the puppet. What do you say in those instances to like drop a seed, or what does that mean to you?
What it means, or really what it is it's really just a way to just engage with the kids and just make them feel loved, really, though. And because I did it a lot, especially at the child care places that I worked at, when we had our circle time, and depending on what subject we talked about, I would bring out, a character and just have him talk. But that's the whole goal, is to make the puppet the center of attention. And bring them joy, because again, they see me, yes, but when they see a character, they just think there are two different people. And or there's Mr. Aaron, or there's a character, and like, oh, I want to meet this character, I want to know who he is. So pretty much what it would mean, I'm not sure how I would say what it would mean to me, but I just know that it is definitely heartwarming, and it's definitely something that I really enjoy seeing, though. The kids just putting a smile on their face, and a lot of times they like to put their finger in their mouth because they want to. So I'll do that. Well, when they do that, I'll just go along with something, and I'll be like, no, get your hands out my mouth. Get your hands. Even when Joshua was a little kid, my little brother Joshua was a little kid, Joshua enjoyed it. To this day, we still be doing this to each other.
Yeah.
So, that's something I left out. We would do little when we had to go to bed with our mom, either with our mom or just at home here, he'll be like, hey, tell me a story that I would make up, and you will really enjoy it. That's how I really started also seeing the special gift that I had, because to this day, my little brother really enjoys the stories that I used to tell him. And so when is this story gonna get a reboot? Will this story ever get a reboot? If this would, or no, we're not gonna do that. So
Wow, man, I'm so proud of you, man. I'm so proud of both of you guys. I'm so glad that you guys have this collaboration. So there's a lot of people now that want to know how they can contact you guys and book you guys. So I would say, I knew that turn this down. I know there's a lot of people that want to book you guys. So for Jasmine, the sensory storyteller, she has a website called sensorystoryteller.com. You can contact her there. Also, you can email her at jibe@sensorystoryteller.com. Or you can call her at 248-785-8254. Aaron, that's Jasmine's company. Aaron's company is Live, Laugh, and Enjoy. And Aaron is Live, Laugh, and Enjoy on Facebook, YouTube, and IG. Or you can call Aaron directly at 313-953-2426. Or you can contact both of them, either of them, to have the collaboration as well.
Yes, sir.
So, and get the full effect of both teams. So, man, that hour went fast. I want to thank you guys, Jasmine, the sensory storyteller, and Aaron, the master puppeteer. Thank you for all you do for these children, especially in these tumultuous times where it's easy to forget about the children. And they still have needs. No matter how much us grown-ups are fighting, they still have needs. And I thank God that there are people like you that don't forget about them. Is there anything that you guys want to say before we clear the air?
I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to touch base with you. And then honestly, like, we don't really have like these sit down powwows. I learned a lot about you today, Aaron. And when you're talking about like telling stories with your brother, I used to do the same thing with my sister. It's like, I don't know what it is, but like, yes, because I used to tell stories with Jessica. I used to take her to like whole little universes of storytelling, and she absolutely loved it. So it's crazy, like just the
yeah,
right, you know, like right.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. I really appreciate this. Thank you all.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Aaron. Yep.
Yeah, same. Thanks, Dad, for putting us both on. And I just want to just say something a little encouraging real quick for anybody that's just feels stuck, or anybody that just that wants to do something similar, or what we like to do is just keep going, and, you know, don't give up. Don't ever give up on what you love to do, because that's what's just going to make a way. God's just going to make a way for y'all for anybody to just do what you love to do. So, you know, don't be in comparison with other people. Just stay in your lane and just do what you love to do. Because social media definitely can easily get you fooled about, this is how I did it, that's how I got the way I am. No, just stay in your lane. But I just think, especially kids, y'all can do anything y'all want to do. Don't let anybody tell y'all can't do anything. Y'all can. Sky's the limit. So.
Amen. Y'all can see why I'm so proud of my boys. They just make me beat my chest. Thank you guys for coming on. I know that all the children that'll be watching this will be blessed, because I was showing just little snippets of what they can experience with you guys. So I just want to say, God continue to shine on you guys with ideas and meeting the right people and exploring and taking this thing national and global, because there's children all over the world. So thank you, Miss Jasmine. Thank you, Aaron, for coming on the Man Cave. Right. Also, guys, I'm sorry about the say again. I didn't hear you. Oh, okay.
I was just saying thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. I'm sorry for the Facebook glitch. I don't know why Facebook didn't post it, but it will be reposted today, and I'll make sure it has it on there. All right. So, okay, guys, we're back live, and we got a bunch of shows coming up that you guys are going to enjoy. I promise you. All right, with that, we will catch you on the next Man Cave show, and we are out.
All right, see y'all.